Hey guys, welcome back to Prep Talk on Prepping in Progress. I'm Steve, and today we're going to talk about I'm not telling you yet. Do you recognize where I am? That's right, we're taking over the bear lair. Maybe not! So stay with us. Yes, I have the bear.
Hi, everybody.
So,
Yes, sir. Let's get comfy.
you've got a mag.
Shall we lounge like this?
Yes, let's
Okay.
lounge.
Yes, I do have a mag. You might know some of the people in it.
One or two.
Okay, good talk.
We're good. See ya.
Bye.
Now, what happens when you've been part of a mag? You've been putting your gear together, you've been storing food, bullets, beans, band-aids together, either off-site or in your own homes, and you decide to leave or someone else decides to leave the group.
Okay,
If you die, we're splitting your gear.
absolutely, absolutely. And I would like a Viking funeral, so less digging, which is difficult to do around here. Just float me out in the middle of a pond, light me with some kerosene. I'm good to go.
All right.
All right, so I think it's really important that you have two piles per se. There's our pile and my pile, meaning that if you're part of a group, I expect everybody at some point to contribute to said group. There's no free lunch, literally and figuratively. If you're in this group, there should be some buy-in. I don't want to carry your dead weight, and I don't expect you to carry mine, right? And so there should be a group pile of this is our stuff. And in our stuff, your group should be identifying, hey, we really need more bullets. We really need more band-aids. We really need more beans, whatever, and address that accordingly based upon whatever the plans of your group are. Are we all going to get together at Aunt Millie's house and we're going to do life together here in this capacity? Great, then we need to have the vast majority of our stuff at Aunt Millie's house. If we're going to serve as a QRF or a quick reaction force for each other and function in a MAG type role, mutual assistance, that, hey, if your place is on fire, I'll come get you. If you need I need my leg splinted, can you help? That kind of thing. That would be probably a different setup. But there's our stuff and then there's my stuff. My stuff is mine. You don't get to take my stuff.
Okay.
My ammo's my ammo. My food is my food. My medical is my medical. However, whatever I set aside as our stuff, uncontested, if I leave, it's already a loss to me. It's not my stuff anymore, it's our stuff.
Okay.
And so if I leave, I have full expectation that our stuff is going to become your stuff when I leave. I'm not taking that back with me. And so I'm thinking pretty fast here, but that would put the onus on me to not put stuff into the our stuff pile that I can't afford to lose from my stuff.
Okay.
Okay? That being said, it doesn't mean I shortchange the our stuff pile. Our stuff needs to be a really robust pile. But my stuff needs to be a really robust pile too, because if we do separate ways, I'm not dependent upon all the stuff that I put at your place. Does that make sense?
It does, but where I'm going to follow up with is, are you thinking 50-50? Are you thinking 90-10?
Everybody has different appetites for that.
What is your opinion? How's
Okay,
that?
so I am in a unique situation where I have both a tribe and a mag. The tribe functions like a mag all on its own, and then I have the mag as well, mutual assistance group. So I am blessed to have two robust groups of people that I am a part of, and those two circles overlap quite a bit as well. So I have said before, and I mean it, I have set more aside for my tribe than a lot of people have for themselves.
Okay.
That is a function of me being me. It is a function of the convictions that I have, and it's a function of us as a family not living beyond our means, which frees up a lot of revenue for us that I can put towards preps. We've worked extremely hard to not have any debt, to buy land for cash, and so my money's my money by and large. And so if I maximize my income and I minimize my expenses through the sweat of my brow, the blood of my hands, the conviction of my heart, I can then take said revenue and pour it into my tribe pile, my mag pile. And frankly, I didn't really start doing that until my pile was sufficient to carry me and mine for at least a year.
Okay.
And so our food, my family's preps, I think is pretty damn squared away, especially compared to where a lot of people are. And now once I felt comfortable with my own personal preps, it's probably right now, well, I can tell you for a fact right now it is 50-50 between what's going into our pile and what's going into the everybody else pile, the tribe, the mag. But I believe everybody has a different appetite for that. A, because everybody has different convictions of the heart, and B, because everybody has different revenue. And so, and I think it also comes down to how much do you trust the people you're doing life with? For me, luckily, the answer is implicitly. There's nobody that I do life with where I'm like, I don't know about that guy. And that's by choice.
Yeah.
Like, everybody that I do life with knows where I live. They know what my kids' names are. They've seen at least a portion of the preps that we have. They know where my office is. They have a real good idea of our capabilities and our convictions. So I'm not worried about what happens if we break up.
So the principle of surround yourself with good people as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But that begs the question of what happens when two good people can't get along anymore? And that's the us pile versus the me pile.
There you go.
And so if it's two factions and there's an us pile, say there's 1,000 pounds of rice in the us pile, we can agree to say, you know what, Steve, you take 500 pounds, I'm going to take 500 pounds, but I'm willing to say, you know what, you have all of it, man. That's the moment that stuff left my doorstep, I expected to never see it again and only use it if I absolutely had to.
Okay, so looking at the question inversely.
Yes, sir.
You're part of the MAG council, whatever.
Right.
Jimmy John is leaving.
I love Jimmy John. Oh, he's leaving?
Yes, he's leaving.
Bastard. All right.
So how much do you think we should give him out of the group pile, or should we?
Great question.
Morally, are we obligated to him?
Why is he leaving, and what is his attitude when he's leaving?
Well, he is definitely frustrated. He wanted a leadership role, and we didn't give it to him because he doesn't have the skills. But we weren't going to tell him that.
Is he being an a-hole about it?
A little. He's trying not to.
He's trying not to. Okay, then I would offer Jimmy John. Question: how badly do we need the stuff that Jimmy John put into the pile?
Let's throw out, say, a 50% need. We're pretty sure that things are going to be rough for an extended period of time, but we think we're sitting pretty good.
Okay. So understanding that stuff only ends up in the us pile, knowing that we'll never see it again. And that's like initial conversation with somebody. Hey, man, if you want to be in and you put stuff in the us pile, it's in the us pile in perpetuity forever.
Yeah.
Okay? So knowing that going in, Jimmy John, it's a shame. I loved Jimmy John. He was tremendous, but he's leaving, right? I'm going to miss him. And he's kind of being a jerk about it. And we kind of need the stuff. If we have a 50% need, I think it's amicable to offer Jimmy John, hey, man, you can have, one-time offer, you can have 50% of your stuff back if you feel a conviction to offer it to him. But that expectation shouldn't be there.
Gotcha.
That, for me, again, when I put something into that pile, I don't expect to ever see it again.
So this is something that if it crossed the mind or was convicted, a member of the governing council might bring up, and then you would discuss it.
I think so, but it kind of feels like making change in the offering plate to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The plate comes by and you're like, I got a 20, but I really want to put $10 in, so I'm going to try and pull 2 5s out. And like, it just has that kind of like, it has that feel to it, almost like a conflicted, semi-disingenuous kind of.
Well, I hear you. Every time a YouTube channel talks about this question, though,
Mm-hmm.
it's always, I'm leaving and do I get my stuff back? Well, we're staying. What do we give you? How do we handle you is where I'm coming from.
Never put your stuff in the pile if you can't live without it. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. And that's getting back to the honesty of our situation. I didn't start putting things in the community pile until our position as individuals was squared away.
Yeah.
And that this is something, again, we talk about at our channel all the time, positions of strength. Man, I got to be good so I can get everybody else good. How am I supposed to be your QRF if I'm dying of malnutrition? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So once we got good, that puts me in a position to get everybody else around me good and then start diverting our resources like our preps from just our own pile into other piles for other people in other situations.
Okay.
But I don't have an expectation. If once something comes off my doorstep, I don't expect to ever see it again.
Makes sense.
It's gone. If it shows back up again, what a blessing, man. But I think a lot of that, too, is having a clear cut on the front end. Hey, this is how things work.
There you go.
This is how we do things. Go ahead.
No, that's, to me, what you just said, a clear cut, this is how it works from the beginning, is the one thing that every person who discusses this question does not clarify. We'll figure that out later. Well, we're a mag. We'll figure the rest of it out later. And I think you've hit on the big one is get what you're going to do, figure things out, what you're going to give straight up out front.
Yeah. What's the expectation? And is it a one-time obligation? You want to join the mag, you need to put 1,000 pounds of food in buckets and bring it to a location X. And this is, we'll come back to that. Or is it ongoing? Is it almost like a tithe? 10% of all the food you put up for yourself, you put up an additional 10% towards the mag or whatever. And that's between you and your people. That's something that you guys have to figure out. And also, what is the need amongst your people? Again, because if we're all coalescing at one location, then the vast majority of food needs to be there. If we're functioning as reaction forces for each other in community, I don't need all my stuff at your house, and you don't need all your stuff at my house. So it depends. It's very mission specific based upon your mission and what you're trying to do with your team. But what happens now that Jimmy John is gone, he knows what we have and where all our stuff is. Now what do we do? And that's a big function of having spider points, meaning different areas on the map where, oh no, we were keeping all of our stuff in the abandoned warehouse on Johnson Street, and Jimmy John knows that. Now we need to go move all that stuff from the abandoned warehouse on Johnson Street over to the cabin on Goose Lake or whatever. So there's definitely an element of OPSEC to there as well when it comes to that community pile. And I really don't think that everybody on the team needs to be privy to all of the secrets of where everything is and what's the inventory and what do we have. Because when people jump ship, you don't want the overexposure of that information to be used against you. Jimmy John doesn't need to know what we have other than, hey, we got enough stuff, right? Because the whole reason he left in the first place is because we wouldn't give him the keys to the kingdom.
Well, it's a good thing he was the logistics officer.
Well, see, so there we go. But you know what all this really comes back to, Stephen, though, is life is messy. And so managing expectations on the front end, whenever you're dealing with people, manage expectations on the front end. What do I expect you to do? You got to be able to do that. And then having firm convictions based on sound morals and ethics.
Okay.
You can navigate most of life with those two things. What do I actually expect you to do? And why morally and ethically do I expect you to do it? If we can agree on those two things, that mitigates the vast majority of the damage on the back end if we decide to go our separate ways.
Makes sense to me.
Cool?
Very cool. Thank you for joining me today.
Happy to be here, brother.
Have a good one.